Abraham was the friend of God. Abraham had a great voice with God because he was his friend. And it says, Pastor used this passage last week, that Moses spoke with God face to face as a man spoke with his friend. So you've got to spend time with God. You got to speak to God. You got to spend time in his presence. But you've got to allow him to speak back to you through your spirit. And I want to ask you a question, because I want you to ask yourself the question introspectively. What do you surround yourself with all day long? Because if we're going to build a relationship with God, we have to spend time in his presence. But even if God has been talking to me about me and him alone time, because I will pray and I will worship, but I'm always like, if I'm doing other things too. He's been talking to me about alone time, just me and him, right? Because that's the other thing too. You can't have, Brother Jerry can't have no good relationship with his wife if they don't have just me and her time. She don't always want to be with you and her and the kids, or you and her, going to church. It's got to be a you and him alone time. So God's been talking to me about that, and I'm working on that really well. I'm working on restoring that part of me. But then the other thing too is, what do you surround yourself with as you go through your day? Right? As Pastor would say, you can't have your radio on politics all day long. So even though I may be busy doing something, I have worship on, okay? Or I have a sermon on. So in my subconscious, there's always the presence of God.